our word travel, or to go from one destination to another. He left and went into a far country. He wanted to get away from his dad, his influence, and his raising. And when he got to the far country, the Bible said he wasted his substance with riotous or wild living. I'd like to borrow your imagination, if I could please, this morning for just a few moments. And I would like to preach on the subject, junk you find on the wrong road. Junk you find when you go down the wrong road. Anytime I walk down the side of the road, I'm always glancing at the grass or down off in the ditch to notice the things that people throw out while they're on their journey.
Right.
What people throw out on the side of the road can tell you a lot about them, even though you may never meet them. Did you know when it comes to the road of life, Jesus declared in the New Testament that there were only two roads where which we could travel. One was a broad road that Jesus said led to destruction, while the other, Jesus said, was the straight and narrow that leads to life everlasting. We can conclude right away that the one road that is wrong and there's one road that's right. So today I'd like to borrow your imagination and take you down the wrong road. Surely in a vast crowd that is sitting in this building today, there is somebody that's got a hunger to take your life in the wrong direction. I'm sure there are teenagers that wonder if they really want to get on the straight and narrow and go with God, or get on the broad road of disaster that goes with the world, the devil, and eventually hell. Maybe there's a young married couple here. Your future is in the balance on what direction you want to take. Sad to say, this could even be affected in the lives of some of our elderly people, undecided on whether they want to stay on the straight and narrow with God. Today we'll walk beside the wrong road and notice the junk that people have tossed out during their times of travel. I'd like to leave the Father's house found in Luke 15 now. I'd like to go to the picket fence in his front yard. But something amazing happens. As soon as I open the picket fence, I see that broad, dusty, windy trail that Jesus warned us about that leads to destruction. Just on the other side of the picket fence is a young man with tattered clothing on. He's barefooted. He smells like a hog pen, and his clothes are barely dangling on his ragged body. Excuse me, young man, could you please tell me, I'm getting ready to take a journey down this road to a far country. Do you know which direction I need to go? I not only know the direction you're going to go, sir, but I've already been down this road. And if you don't mind, I would like to take you on a tour and show you what you find on the side of the road if you go down the wrong road with your life. As we start down the long, dusty, windy trail, we start looking off to the sides of the road and down into the ditch. And I noticed immediately something that caught my eye. There lay a tattered baby doll and a small, broken plastic truck. As I walk down to the ditch with the prodigal son, I look at that doll that has been ripped and torn. I look at that small truck that has been twisted and broken. And I say to him, what does this mean on the wrong side of the road? What does this mean that somebody has thrown these toys away? He said, preacher, what that means is simply when you go down the wrong road, sometimes it'll cost you your children.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me there are people that are willing to make wrong decisions in their life, knowing that that decision may influence, jeopardize, and even cost them their children? Yes, preacher, sadly so. There are some people that are more concerned about themselves than they are their own children. May I say to you parents, I want to be blunt and bold and brief. Your children didn't ask to be brought into this world. Neither did they have a vote on what family they were to be born into. They deserve proper clothing, proper love, proper education, and a proper place to stay. That is your obligation as a parent to supply that to your children. But Brother Denny, we are living in a day where men and women are so self-centered that they are willing to sacrifice the future of their children, knowing they're going the wrong way. There's 2 or 3 families in this church, bless God, they're not even here today. I have warned them. They are getting out of church, they're getting away from God, and they're taking their children with them. Their kids used to sit on the front pews of this church, and they're not even in the house of God at all. You parents ought to be ashamed of the way to know God and the way your parents how some of the public schools are voting. I may as well just let around and preach while on television. I notice now that public schools are going to vote on feeding children breakfast year-round because parents are not getting up and cooking for their kids and feeding them before they go to work. They're allowing those kids to lay in bed, no responsibility, no discipline, and leaving them alone and not even feeding them. Can I say something with due respect? I got more respect for my dog than to make sure it's fed before I leave the house. Some of you jacked up parents, you need to get a life. You need to get your head out of the sand. This world bigger than just you. And God has given you a child. You are bigger than possible. Responsibility of doing what you ought to be doing. Amen. Hey. Oh, that's good preaching. I was out visiting a neighborhood years ago, and I went in a little corner store, and the man that owned it stopped me. He said, "Preacher, have you got a minute?" I said, "Sure, I'm out visiting." He says, "There's been two little boys coming in here and stealing food." He said, "They steal candles. They steal candy bars and potato chips." And he said, "I know they're hungry." And he said, "I hadn't done anything. I just turned my back and let them have it." And he said, I don't know how long I can keep doing this. These kids come down here today and they're stealing food out of my store." And he said, "I just found out today, preacher, that old abandoned house just down the road from this store, those two boys are living there. Curtis was 9 and Chris was 7. I said, "You mean the old house where the windows are boarded up? There hasn't been anybody in that house in years." He said, "Them two boys are living in that house." I went down to the house, went in the lower section of that old dilapidated place, and it was silent and dark. I started to leave, and I saw a staircase going up into the back that went up into the upstairs. Brother Dewey, I went to the staircase. The sheetrock was knocked down and spray painted with vulgarity. Dried vomit was on the steps where drunks had spent the night wallowing in their own filth. Human waste was up and down the staircase. And I walked up to the top of the steps and I looked, and there was a cardboard box in the middle of the living room that was flipped upside down to be used as a table. Around that box, Brother Charles, was empty potato chip bags and candy bar wrappers. There was a candle burning in the middle of that cardboard box. Nobody was there, and I looked around getting ready to leave Brother Matthew, and I looked, and those two little boys were covered up in the corner, shaking, hugging each other. And I went over there, and I didn't know these boys. I said, "Boys, I'm a preacher. I'm here to help you. Could you tell me, where's your daddy?" And they said, "We don't know. We've never had a daddy." Mommy said, "We're from different men, but we don't know where we came from." I said, "Okay, you talked about your mommy. Where's your mommy at?" They said, "We don't know. She's gone." I said, "Son, how long have you been here by yourself?" He said, "About a week." I said, "Son, there's no electricity in this house. There's no water in this house." I said, "There's no place to heat and cool. The windows are knocked out. There's vomit through the floors. There's human waste through this house. Derelicts and drunks come in and out of here." They said, "Preacher, Mama left us here about a week ago and told us that she would be back. But she's not come back. And we're hungry. We don't have any money. And we've been going down to a little corner store and stealing food." That's where you see all the wrappers here. A 9-year-old boy and a 7-year-old boy living in an abandoned home. I got them down and I put them in the car, and I got a phone number of a distant relative, and they told me where she might have been. I remember I had the two boys in the front of my car and had the window down, and I pulled up in front of a beer joint where they told me she was. I got out of the car, and the window was down, and the boys were hanging their head out, and I went inside the beer joint. And when I went inside the beer joint, there she was in the arms of 2 or 3 different men. I asked her to step outside, and she was so drunk the men had to get her under her arms and lead her out to the sidewalk. When she got outside that place of ill repute, them boys said, "That's my mama right there!" And they jumped out of the window of my car, didn't even open the door, ran to their drunken mother and wrapped their arms around her thighs and begin to scream, Mama, we've been scared and we've been hungry. Where have you been? I looked at her with the smell of liquor on her breath, and I said, ma'am, these kids have been living in an abandoned home, wallowing in filth and vomiting human waste, stealing potato chips out of a corner store. You got to get home and check on these boys in a week. You didn't even know if they were alive or dead. I said, would you give me these boys and let me at least put them in an atmosphere where they have a chance at life? She grabbed both of them by the backs of their heads and pushed them toward me and said, they're yours, take them. And she was never a mother again to them to the very day that I'm preaching right now. Oh, there's something wrong with a woman that can turn her children away over a liquor bottle or a strange man. Something bad wrong with a woman that can live like that. There's something wrong with a man that can walk away from his wife and kids and shack up with some crack smoking dope head that weighs 90 pounds and turn your back on your own flesh and blood. That's what happens when you go down the wrong road. You got your children! Sir, I've had all this I can handle. I can't look at this no more. Please get me to the end of this road as quick as you can. We start down the road again, and I notice something glistened in the sun. It caught my eye. I look over the grass, and I pick it up, and it's a set of wedding bands. But they're twisted and broken, and the diamonds are gone. Sir, could you tell me you're the prodigal son? You've been down this road. What does this mean? What it means, preachers, when you go down the wrong road, you not only leave your children, but you also end up leaving your companion. Now, I don't want to bring up no spilled milk, and I know we can't change the past. But that doesn't stop me from having the need to preach on what I'm going to preach on. 70% of this generation will wind up in divorce. And if you're divorced, I'm sorry. And I can't help it, and it's in the past, and you need to get forgiveness and go on with God. It's not an unforgivable sin, but I got to face a reality. And you that have been divorced, bless God, ought to be shouting the loudest to make sure that this generation coming on doesn't make the same mistakes that some of us have made in the whole life of the man. So don't get back. Relationship starts down the wrong road, it's just a matter of time till it's going to end up broken and twisted and in tragedy. All it takes is a stupid woman to get on the internet and start getting on these chat rooms and fooling around talking to some other man. All it takes is somebody that's stupid. You say, oh, but preacher, he's so much better looking than my husband. He's so much better looking, yeah, but you're so dumb you don't realize that picture was taken in 1939. He's 107 years old. He's got a catheter in the front and a bag on the back. He's wearing a diaper, laying a tooth in his head. He's got Alzheimer's and he don't even remember you. But you're dumb enough to think that the grass is greener on the other side. You think it's going to be better on the other side. And you have no idea. You're about to ruin the home that God has given you. You stupid nigga, you're so ignorant. Sometimes I can't believe our minds go on vacation as much as our minds do. You get to fooling around with a woman on the job, you say, oh, but you don't understand. She only weighs 90 pounds. She's got her weight under control. And my wife has gained weight since we got married. Sure she has. She has birthed your children into this world. She has went through the jaws of death to make sure that you have a son and a daughter. She's going to put on a few pounds. A couple of her teeth are going to need worked on. And she may even have a wrinkle or two. But you should have thought about that before you knocked her up, Jack. Some little floozy whore down at the job and you brag about her being so thin. What you don't know, she's blowing $1,500 $1,500 a week, snorting crack and powder through her nose. She don't eat, she just snores through her nose. But you're so stupid, you don't even know what this is going on. Shame on you men knocking these women up, then knocking them running away from them, and not taking on the responsibility. If they're your child, you ought to pay for that child. You ought to pay your support. You ought to pay your life. You ought to get your ball game. You ought to get your graduation. You ought to get your rally. I don't give a night and got home Saturday. When I was in Ohio, I stopped off to see the only brother that I've got. And it was his birthday, and I took him out to a steakhouse. Fed him a big steak. He's older and uglier than I am. I'm the best looking one of the family. It's not that I'm that good looking, you just need to see them. We took him out to eat, and there was a very nice lady that waited on our table, and I always leave 20 or 25% tip. That's just what I do. And if you don't leave a tip, please don't leave an Emmaus card there, because I don't want them to know you're a tightwad people come to our church. But after I had signed off and left with a tip, I'm talking about a very nice lady, she was very proper, made sure everything was done. We were walking out the door, and the Holy Spirit said to me, I want you to give her some money. And I said, Lord, I just left her 25%. Did you see the bill I just made out? The Lord said, I knew the bill before you were ever born. I saw the bill. I'm God. Remember? So go back in the restaurant and give her a big piece of money. So I took my brother with me, and I went in the restaurant, and I said, man, can I speak to you for a second? I don't have any idea who you are. I couldn't even tell you the woman's name. I said, I was just walking out of here. And I said, the Lord told me to come back and give you a large sum of money. And I don't know what's going on in your life, but I want to give you this money. And her lip began to quiver, and tears just busted out of her eyes. She said, sir, you don't know what you've done for me. I said, is there something I can pray with you about? She said, I'm a Christian. And she said, my husband just walked out and left me and 3 kids. I've never worked. It's the first job I've ever had. I've been raising kids. I got 3 little kids. And now he's run off with another woman, and I can't find him, and he's not paying us any money. And she said, they're getting ready to cut my electricity off. And I don't know what to do. I got 3 kids, and I'm trying to work here, and I get paid by tips, and I make $2 an hour plus tips. And she said, they're getting ready to cut my electric off. And she said, I came to work this morning and just cried out to God and said, I don't know what to do. He's left me. I have nothing. He's taken everything we own. He's ripped off our bank accounts. He's stopped our credit card. I don't know how I'm going to pay an electric bill. What am I going to do with 3 kids in the dark? And she said, the money you gave me is exactly what my electric bill is. Amen. Part-time jobs and cleaning houses and washing cars and working in restaurants and trying to put it all together to raise a bunch of kids where the man has walked out on them, and I say shame on them. But I'm saying to you husbands and wives, all it takes is one of you to go down the wrong road, and you're not only going to lose your children, you're going to lose your companion. I've seen all that I want. Prodigal, please, get me to the end of this road as quick as you can. I'm crying and my heart is broke. Wait a minute. What in the world is that in the ditch over there? A set of crutches and a neck brace? Prodigal, what's the crutches and the neck brace? Well, the neck brace, what is all this? Oh, preacher, that's just to show you when you go down the wrong road, you don't want to lose your children, you don't want to lose your companion, but sin will cripple you for the rest of your life. Yeah. Oh, preacher, if I could pull up this dirt road and show you what's under it, I would show you the signs of scars and regrets and sorrows that outline the road that we are now on. Nobody knows when they start down this road that they're going to make decisions that's going to cripple them for the rest of their life. I did some things when I left Daddy's house that I'm going to have to live with the rest of my life. I'm going to tell you young people something. It's a lot more difficult than what you think when you run out and live in the world. You think you're just going to come in and hit an altar and ask God to forgive you, and it's going to be just like nothing ever happened. There's some things you're going to do in a far country that's going to follow you to your last breath in the cemetery. There's some things you can do that will scar you and bother you till the day you die. Years ago, I was preaching in a large prison. And I went to the warden and I said, I want to bring my boys in here, show them prison life. He said, preacher, we don't let kids in. And I understand that. I said, I'm preaching in a bullpen. There's about 150, I'm talking hardened criminals. I said, they're all in the bullpen. I'm not going to go in, and no doors will be open. The jailer will be with me. I just want my boys to stand against the wall. I want them to see the wrong road. My oldest boy couldn't have been 10, which made my other one about 8 or 9. And I remember they walked in that jail, and they were slamming them doors and all that, echo of them prisoners cussing and fighting, all of them dressed in orange uniform. My boys were up against the wall, sliding down like this, as far away from that cage as they could possibly get. We got in the middle of that cage, and I said, now boys, I want you to watch yourself. These are my sons, but I'm here to preach the gospel. There were so many men, Brother Greg, stuffed in that bullpen that day, they were shoulder to shoulder. When I got done preaching, I started to close my Bible and leave, and I saw a hand go up way in the back, talking about being crippled the rest of your life. A man raised his hand and said, hey! I want to say something before you leave. He started making his way through the packed crowd. He got up to the bars and he put his arms through the bars. I'll never forget it. Rested his elbows. He had long, shaggy hair. His beard was filled with tears where he'd been crying. He said, sir, before you leave, can I talk to those boys for a moment? I said, now you watch your mouth and you watch your language. These are my sons. He looked at my boys and said, boys, when I was your age, I used to go to the jail with my daddy. My daddy was a preacher just like your daddy. And I was raised in a home where Thanksgiving time we sat around the table and thank God for supper. I was raised in a home where on Christmas Day, Daddy read the story. I was raised in a home, Brother Doug, where every Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night I was in church. And he said one day I decided I was going down the wrong road. I was tired of Daddy and all the rules and the do's and don'ts, and I jumped the fence and I took off down the wrong road. He said, I'm facing first-degree murder. I'll spend the rest of my life behind these metal bars in orange suits. He said, I will never hear my daddy preach again. He's in a faraway state. He said, I'll never eat Thanksgiving at Mom's table. I'll never get around the Christmas tree with my siblings and listen to Daddy read the Christmas story. Boys, I went down the wrong road. And I'm crippled for the rest of my life. And I want to tell you, boys, if an old prisoner can tell you anything, you remember this. You follow the God that your daddy's preaching. And then when you're my age, you'll be glad you're not sitting in a jail cell by yourself reading letters, wishing to God you could turn back the pages of time. Now, I don't know if that registered in my boys or not, but both of them are preaching the gospel this morning. Prodigal, we've got to leave, but something's big down there. It looks like a cardboard box, but it's shiny. I want to see what it is, and then I've had all this I want out of here. Dear God, it's not a box, it's a casket. Prodigal, what is this supposed to mean? Preacher, what it means is you can not only lose your children, you can not only lose your companion, you can not only be crippled. There's a casket because many people die on the wrong road. They don't ever live long enough to get back. They die, messed up, and go to hell without God from the side of this road. I remember some time ago a man called me. He said, there's 3 of us brothers. And said, my mother raised us by herself. And for over 42 years, she was a barmaid in one beer joint. And said, my mother has died and we have no pastor. We have no preacher. We have never been to church in our lives. But my mother's died, and we're looking for somebody to say a few words at her funeral. Would you come? I said, I would be glad to. I remember, Brother Steve, when I walked in that chapel, there wasn't a handful of people there. When they brought the 3 sons in, how they bring the family in right as the funeral began, all of them were so drunk that the funeral directors had to help them in to set them down. I opened my Bible and I read a verse of scripture, and one of the drunk boys stood up on the front pew and said, say something good about my mama. I said, sit down and shut up, sir. I didn't know your mama. I started to read another verse and talk about the gospel, and that same drunk son stood up and said, I said, say something good about my mama. I said, sit down and shut up, son. I didn't know your mama. I want to tell you about Jesus. I tried to be respectful, but I had to have control of the service. When I saw him get up the third time, I said, "Sir, if you wanted somebody to say something good about your mama, bless God, you ought to have the owner of the beer joint preach her funeral. Because he's known her for 42 years. And I hate to know that as a mom or dad, I went down the wrong road of life. And even at my funeral service, my sons were coming in a drunken stupor. And I so messed up my life that I died with the hell and probably going to take my family with me. God have mercy on us. I want to close now. Preacher, you said you had all this you want. I want out of here. Well, you have to step over this barbed wire fence. Barbed wire fence? I didn't realize we were fenced in. Oh, yeah. You've been in a hog pen the whole time and didn't even know it. Anytime you take the wrong road, you in a hog pen and may not even know it. As I step over the barbed wire, 3 strands of barbed wire fence with him, I turned around and I couldn't believe it. Instead of being in tattered clothing, he's in a white robe. He's got shoes on his feet and a ring on his hand. Hey, are you the same guy that was in the hog pen? Yeah, that's me. Could you tell me, what road are we on now? This is the right road. Years ago when I stepped out of that hog pen, decided I had all that wrong way I wanted. He said, when I stepped out, the Bible said, and the Father saw me from afar off. He said, I was tattered in clothing, I smelled like a hog, I was down to nothing, but the Father ran to where I was. He embraced me, He loved me, He kissed me, He forgave me, and I got on the right road. You may be here today and you may be on the wrong road. All you got to do is step over the barbed wire of faith and repentance. And God will forgive you, save you, satisfy you, and change you forever. Let's give the Lord a hand. Thank you for being here today. Brother Brady, if you'll come, we'll get you ready for baptism. Brother Lenny, let's take care of that immediately, please. And while they're coming, I'd like to